Hello, gringos y gringas, beaners and beanerettes. Welcome to another episode of El Resto es Latino. Here, bringing a little bit of Christmas cheer if I can. Wearing this scarf that my mom made as a Christmas present. So, thank you, mom. And yeah, today we're gonna talk about Burkina Faso, right? So, stay tuned for that. I watched a documentary a couple months ago about it, and there's this revolution. This new leader today is now trying to disassociate with the West and whatever that entails. We're gonna find out together. And now they are having closer relationships with China and Russia, etc. Apparently, North Korea even sent troops there. So we will find out. And that's the point of this show. I don't want to say it every time because then the intro is too long, but the point of this show is also is to find out about the news, but to do it together, because there's a lot of propaganda and bullshit. So I hope that all of us together we can filter what is real, what is not, and trying to go straight for the truth, for the facts, and with an objective mindset, without prejudging or assuming that you know the gambler's fallacy. Just because this happens all the time doesn't mean that in this specific case it's the same. And for example, I have a friend who uh, is pro-Israel, and we have but really grown up decent arguments. Like, there's no insults, we're still friends. And we were talking about the Bondi Beach attack, and I want to give a quick word about that because it's very interesting the way that he sees it. So he sent me let me change here quickly. So something quick, right? So we spoke about this during the Bondi Beach episode last week, so go back and check it out if you're interested to know what happened during the terror attack and all that things, survivor testimonies and stuff. Is yeah, very disturbing but very interesting. So we have this kind of a person who's a victim, and everybody's calling it out as being a planted victim or fake, maybe member of a secret agency or whatever. And there's a couple of pictures to show it. So first of all, there's this picture where he's getting makeup, and this is in October the 7th. He was also in October the 7th, so this was there. Or this is what we found out last week, right, that it was in October the 7th. However, it's the same t-shirt that he has in Bondi Beach, so that part is confusing. And we have this picture from the hospital, which include this one that apparently is AI, because it's they took this out, right? So let's see what this guy says. Arsenovsky purported head wound, I guess, report, I don't know, at Bondi Beach is getting to be like the 500 hats of blah, 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 blah. It was a made-up job. Okay, so this guy is believing that it was a makeup job. So this friend sent me some fact-check website saying that some organization supported by the ADL is saying that this is AI. So we have this proof from the both sides. Some people, this is AI, this is not AI. And regarding this picture, I do have questions. This could easily be, photoshopped or AI. And we spoke last week also about the fact that because he showed like this on camera and full bandages, right? And one of the arguments from the people that think this is a plant is that who doesn't clean the wound before putting bandages, like just to have this effect of all blood and all the drama. So yeah, that's theater, I believe. But in any case, back to the subject, this I could believe that it's fake. However, this one, when they sent me this one, just because like this I don't know, this feels, this could be, look at the border here, and to be able to erase that, no, bro, like this looks clean. the hairline. This looks clean and there's no wound. That's the point, of course. And as we spoke, look at the fingers. This is not an AI picture. This might be a picture where they just took the bandages away in the Photoshop, right? So I don't know. The point is that this guy was sending me this link, and I'm like, dude, look at the picture. Like, why are you like just waiting for someone else to tell you your opinion? This is the kind of brainwashing that we're trying to break in the common population. Just have an opinion and then just read news that support it, so you feel better about yourself. This is not objective. This is not unbiased, and of course, this is not the way to seek the truth. You're just seeking to support your opinion, right? So I told him, man, look at the picture. You're an IT guy, just like I am. Look at the picture and tell me, what does your heart tell you? This is a real photo, Speaking about this one. So, we are being so tricked by the media and everything around us that people don't trust their own eyes anymore. You just wait to see what the news says. It's gonna get only worse because of AI, but please, everybody, just trust your eyes. If the sky is blue, then the propaganda is saying it's green, don't go, yeah. So look at it. It's blue. We see it. Right? This is exactly what happened in COVID. This is what's happening now in Gaza. We see the 4K images of children being just, I don't know, slaughtered, killed, and shot in the head on purpose. And no, self-defense or whatever. Dude, connect your eyes to your brain and have your own mind. So this is one of the goals, basically, of this. Anyway, so back to the subject at hand. Burkina Faso today, country in Africa, French colony, and they have been man, I don't know much about Burkina Faso that I can say in this intro, to be honest. I saw this documentary. They said a little bit about the past. However, I cannot say that I remember much. And yeah, I think I told you everything I know. This new leader today is now bringing revolution, so let's see if the revolution is for good or for bad. We're gonna find out. We're gonna go as usual, first on YouTube, and try to find some videos about short that tells us the history of the country until now. Then in 2022 there was a coup to take the previous president out, and then this Touré came in, and now this year there has been some escalation regarding troops on the ground and militarization. So we'll find out all of that first in YouTube, and then for the latest news we'll check on X, we'll check antiwar.com and all the reliable, X reliable. I don't want to put X or Twitter and reliable in the same sentence, but if you filter well properly, you can find constructive things in Twitter or in X, definitely. Facebook and Instagram is a bit more, you gotta be more skeptical about it. Okay, so let's go try to find some. First of all, as usual, let's check the map. So we are here in Africa. Burkina Faso is right here, surrounded by lots of French colony. Ivory Coast, I think Mali is also French, and Ghana is definitely French. I think Togo as well. Benin, I don't really know, that's English. Cameroon is also French. So surrounded by a lot of French, including Guinea, Sierra Leone as well, Liberia. It's a good question, I don't really know. Senegal, 100%. Gambia is in English. So yeah, so we are here in Burkina Faso, right? So we're gonna find out the history. The capital is Bobo. Why, man? Why does it have to be Bobo Dioulasso? Bobo Dioulasso. Is this really the capital? No, it's just a city. Why is the home of Bobo Dula? Oh man, hilarious. But why was it like, it's darker than the rest? Is it the capital? Let's check. I guess so. It's just the city. Let's check what the capital is then. Capital is, oh my god, this is even harder. Holy fuck. Okay, so the oh well, oh man, that's gonna be funny. Let's see. Oh, tiny, by the way. Tiny capital. Yeah. It was behind the name. That's why I'm avoiding pronunciation, procrastinating this shit. Ouagadougou, I guess. Probably someone in the videos we're gonna watch, probably somebody's gonna pronounce it. So let's see. History of Burkina Faso and current events. This is the coup. This video explored the rise of Burkina Faso's new president. We're gonna check this one after. Let's try to find first more only the history. Learn about the country, the entire history in 10 minutes. Fuck yeah. This is what we're looking for. The full history. Hey.
Imagine a
Okay, I'm just gonna check it out later. This channel.
place in West Africa. It is a landlocked country. The sun shines brightly here. The earth can be dry, part of the Sahel. This land is called Burkina Faso. It means land of incorruptible people, or land of upright people. What a name, right? It tells you something special. It speaks of
The land of incorruptible people, and then you have politicians. Like
pride.
I was gonna give shit to Burkina Faso only because of their leaders who are obviously corrupt, but then I thought, which leader isn't? It's really hard, because then you're a hypocrite if you just call one country corrupt. Every country is corrupt.
Speaks of strength. This name is a promise. It is a goal for everyone. The story of this nation is truly amazing. It is a story of survival. It is a story of fighting for what is right. For centuries, the people here have faced big challenges. They have seen powerful kingdoms rise and fall. They have felt the hot winds of change. They have known hardship, but through it all, they have kept their spirit, a spirit that refuses to break. This land has a deep, rich history. It is woven with tales of courage. It is filled with moments of incredible resilience, from ancient warriors to modern-day citizens. Everyone plays a part in this ongoing
not
story.
explaining shit.
They have shown the world what it means to stand tall, even when things get incredibly tough.
Give me some facts, bro. I don't poor guys.
Long, long ago, even before many countries
Finally.
we know today existed, great kingdoms rose in this part of Africa. The most famous were the Mossi kingdoms. We are talking way back, around the 11th century.
Mali?
That is like 1,000 years ago. These kingdoms were not just small villages. They were organized, they were powerful. They knew how to build a society that lasted. The Mossi people were incredible horsemen. Imagine warriors on horseback, skilled and brave. Their cavalry was legendary in the region. This military strength helped them a lot. It helped them protect their lands. It helped them build their kingdoms. They had kings called the Mogo Naba. These kings held great authority, but they also had councils. They had systems of governance. These kingdoms were centers of culture. They had rich traditions. They had unique art and music. Many of these traditions are still alive today. They are passed down from generation to generation. This shows how strong their culture was. It survived through centuries of change. The Mossi kingdoms were known for their resilience.
Lots of nothing. This channel is not starting well. It's been 2 minutes of absolutely nothing. I mean, yeah, we learn about the Mossi tribes and stuff, but that's it. Otherwise, it's been, courageous people. Everybody says that about their people. They are generous, courageous, and strong, and so nice. But have you heard the first time that, the Mongolians, what assholes are they? They never have, they say it about the Germans, they say it about, the white countries, let's say more, the French are rude, and stuff like this. There's this kind of stereotypes, but when it comes to talking about the history, it's not really a stereotype. It's just everybody populations are just, this is just to make it sound nice, just putting makeup, but that's not what we're looking for,
They
is
faced
it?
many threats over the centuries. From the north, there were pressures. Powerful Islamic empires tried to expand. They launched jihads, or holy wars. But the Mossi states held their ground. They fought fiercely to protect their beliefs. They fought to protect their way of life. This was a long struggle, lasting for many years. Their determination was truly something else. They managed to keep their independence. While other areas around them changed, they remained distinct. This shows their military skill. It also shows their unity. The Mossi people knew what they were fighting for. They were fighting for their home. They were fighting for their traditions. This spirit of resistance became a core part of their...
Okay, this is not what I'm looking for. Boring. History, geography, people, facts, economy. Let's see if this one is better. I apologize for that shit video. We're gonna run into bad videos from time to time, I guess.
Burkina Faso. History, geography, people, facts, economy. Welcome to Burkina Faso, a land rich in history, diverse in geography, and brimming with vibrant cultures. Situated in the heart of West Africa, Burkina Faso's story unfolds like an ancient tapestry of resilience and heritage. From the mighty empires that once graced its soil to the stunning landscapes that define its borders, Burkina Faso beckons with a fascinating narrative waiting to be unraveled. Join us on an exhilarating expedition through the annals of time, traversing the lush savannas, embracing...
Oh shit, this reminds me also. they said subscribe, and I also forget. I keep forgetting, man, to do it in the intro. Please like, comment, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm, really. Tell your friends if somebody likes politics, you know, and this kind of stuff, then please share. I don't have the time to make short clips right now, but I will try to get to that as soon as possible. So okay, thank you for the like or the share, and let's keep playing.
Embracing the warmth of its people and delving into the intricacies of its economy. So fasten your seatbelts, adventurers, as we embark on a thrilling odyssey through the enchanting realms of Burkina Faso.
My god, is this a Disney
About
movie?
Burkina Faso. Greetings, curious minds, and welcome to the intriguing realm of Burkina Faso, a landlocked country nestled in West Africa, bordered by 6 nations, including Mali, Niger, Benin, and Ivory Coast. Despite its modest size, Burkina Faso holds great significance in the region and beyond. Straddling the Sahel region, Burkina Faso's strategic location places it at the crossroads of trade routes and cultural exchange. Its history is deeply intertwined with the empires and kingdoms that once thrived in the area, leaving a legacy of rich traditions and heritage. Burkina Faso's reputation around the world reflects its spirit of resilience and determination. Despite facing challenges like poverty and political instability, the Burkinabe people have earned respect for their unity, warm
Burkinabe.
hospitality, and commitment to social progress.
Yeah, that's
As we
a good
embark-
question. Somebody that comes from Burkina Faso, is it a Burkina Fasovian? No, it's a Burkinabe. They call Burkina. She's Burkina. I don't know. Interesting. Good question. I never met anyone from Burkina Faso before. That's that would be big. Like I can't imagine many people have either.
Embark on an immersive exploration of Burkina Faso's history.
I apologize. All these videos are boring as fuck. It's too slow, bro.
Geography, people, facts, and
Whoa. Why Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are forming a new country? Not together, I hope. Or I guess. Or I hope. I don't know if I should hope it. Maybe. If they're happy, they want to unite. Cool.
an economy, we uncover a nation pulsing with life, brimming with cultural treasures, and charting it.
Okay, let's super quick history of Burkina Faso. 1 minute. The last
Hello,
hope.
everyone.
If not, we'll
and
go to
welcome
current
to
events.
Mr.
If not, what the fuck? If not, we'll go to current events and we'll just assume that it was just from the tribes to the French, like from the tribes who lived the same way for 100,000 years or something, to French occupation, and then colonization and now civilization, so to speak. Modern civilization. Mr. History.
This is Africa, and here is Burkina Faso. Now, let's have a quick look around, shall we? Inhabited long, long ago, the earliest known peoples to make the land their home were the Bobo, Lobi, and Gurunzi, who still live here as minorities. For Burkina Faso is a nation of minorities. The most numerous ethnic group is the Mossi, who arrived on horseback around the 15th century, and whose kingdoms dominated the land
this
for
we also
centuries.
learned that they were the first one to ride horses. Which year did they say? Did they say a year?
As minorities. For Burkina Faso is a nation of minorities. The most numerous ethnic group is the Mossi, who arrived on horseback around the 15th century, and whose kingdoms dominated
not
the
that
land
long
for
ago.
centuries, the most powerful of which was Ouagadougou, which has since become the country's capital. The Mossi are known
That
for
it is Ouagadougou. Ouagadougou.
their incredibly tall masks, which they don in ancestor
Whoa.
reverencing rituals. And in the past, the Mossi fended off incursions by the larger Songhai Empire. But they could not fend off the French, who by the early 1900s had already taken all of this. So there wasn't
Whoa, look at this map, bro. Holy, you see everything except Gambia, as we said. Shit. Okay, so wait a second. So, Ghana, is Ghana in? Oh, what
The
happened?
Nile River is the lifeblood of Egypt.
What? No. Because I opened, yeah, exactly. I know Nigeria, Nigeria, but otherwise everything, Liberia, Sierra Leone, except this small one, Guinea-Bissau, and Gambia. Okay, man, the French, they just took over, bro. They just took over, huh? Wow. Okay, so in the 1900s. So the guys came in horse in the 1500s or 1500s, and then in the 1900s, France came and just fucked it all
really
up.
any stopping.
The white man came. Run!
The land became France's Upper Volta colony in 1919. French was taught in schools and infrastructure was modernized. Here we see the strange sight of traditional African huts arranged in a city grid pattern. But anti-colonial sentiment surged post-Second World War, and the country, still called Upper Volta, became independent in 1960.
Second World War, people get pissed at the French and they become independent. So they become independent in 1960. They called it Perfect.
The first president became a dictator who was overthrown by a guy who was overthrown by
In the land, what was the name? The land of righteous people or something?
a guy who was overthrown by a guy who was overthrown by this guy who was overthrown by this guy who was in power till 2014 and did not really do any good
See,
as Burkina
these
Faso
people deserve a lot. That's what I was looking for. 2 minutes, everything. Only facts.
was still among the poorest nations on earth. He resigned and fled after mass protests. And in 2015, this guy was elected president, breaking a long line of military coups. And in 2015, this guy was elected president, breaking a long line of military
Tabure.
coups. Hopefully for good, but who can say? This country's troubles are far from over. Hunger, economic instability, widespread illiteracy, and corruption in a country whose name ironically means land of incorruptible people. On the bright
That's-
side, things can only get better for Burkina Faso, and let's hope they do, soon. But as for me, it's bye for now. Bye-bye!
Oh man, this channel is badass. I like it. Mr. History. So everybody give these people a follow. A quick history Zimbabwe. What countries' names mean. This is cool, man. Fuck yeah. Okay, cool. These people are nice. Now
Hello
we
everyone,
go
and
fast.
welcome to Mr.
Yo. With okay, now this one. Burkina Faso's coup explained. Okay, so the Mossi tribe arrived in the 15th century by horse, and then they stayed there as the leaders. What happened before was, I guess, just indigenous people chilling, hunting lions and shit. And then these people came by horse. I don't know if anything changed. They didn't speak about that. They brought in religion, probably not. Still several tribes were living around the country. And then in the 1900s, the French came and the rest is history. Then they modernized, and now there is a very poor land, obviously, like most countries in Africa that has been exploited for all their resources. Most countries are poor, and overtaken. I don't think he mentioned not even one election. It's just like coup after coup after coup. It's just violent change of power, and you cannot have a stable country like that, obviously. So, like, just a normal democratic election is where everything starts. Without that, you don't have a democracy. The Greeks knew their shit, man. The Greeks knew what they were talking about, huh? It's not perfect. It's not a perfect system, but I like the I like the argument of capitalism and democracy, as it's like that says democracy or capitalism is the worst system of government, with the exception of all the others. Obviously there's a million mistakes, a million holes in democracy, in capitalism, that need to be filled. Some of them by a little bit from socialism, a little bit from fascism, a little bit. You take the good things of each of the governance styles, and then you include them in the already failed one that we have, to see if we can improve. Because not everything is bad about fascism, not everything is bad about communism. It's not 100% every single thing is horrible. Some things are good. So, Okay, so we will go now to find out what happened. So the last president was elected. That video we just watched was from 6 years ago. So 2019, to put into context. The last president, they said, was in 2015. Putin, or won the military coup. And now we're going to find out, this is a year ago, what happened. From this channel that I don't know, by the way, preamble. So, let's see.
Army officers in Burkina Faso have announced the overthrow of military leader Paul-Henri Damiba.
There's been a revolution in the West African nation of Burkina Faso.
Islamic extremism is on the rise in West Africa.
On January 20th, 2023, a military group led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré staged a coup at the state capital of Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso. After a successful coup attempt, he appeared on national TV and proclaimed himself the president of the nation.
The military leaders had overthrown their own lieutenant turned president and promised to tackle the volatile security situation.
He demanded the departure of French troops who were aiding in the fight against Islamist militants, giving them 1 month to withdraw their troops and leave the country.
Holy shit, man! Right to the creamy, warm chocolate in the center. So you have ISIS and Al Qaeda stations in Burkina Faso, and according to these people, as usual, I haven't seen any evidence. They can say and put pictures and flying flags as much as they want. But of course, it would be nice to have some evidence. According to these people, the French government is actually funding these terrorist groups. So this guy kicked the French, excuse me. So they kicked this, the French government out, and let's see what they did. It's crazy, man. ISIS and Al Qaeda. Fuck. The leader of Al Qaeda, as we know, is now the president of Syria, or former leader of Al Qaeda is now the president of Syria. He just changed his name to Al Jelani, correct. That's his new name. His old name was Hassan or something. And yeah, now he's the leader, and he orchestrated 9/11. And now he's the leader and shaking hands with Trump and calling him a handsome guy with a strong will. Very nice. So this is interesting. Holy shit. I'm hooked now. 100% hooked.
France has maintained both permanent and temporary military installations in West Africa. Across this region, the French have had more than 5,000 troops, including drones, combat aircraft, helicopters, armored vehicles, logistics, both tactical and strategic. So how did this 36-year-old guy, Ibrahim Traoré, become the president of the transition government of Burkina Faso? Why did he expel French troops after the country's long-standing history with France?
Yeah, but the long-standing history was not one that benefited the Burkina Fasovians, right? Probably not, otherwise they wouldn't be poor as shit.
Burkina Faso has had a long history with coups, dating back to the 1960s.
You see,
In
we
the
could have seen this in the
1960s,
beginning.
Burkina Faso gained independence from France after French presence in Burkina Faso during colonialism in 1904, when the French formally proclaimed the territory as Upper Volta, integrating it into French West Africa. In 1966, Maurice Yamoego is ousted in a military coup led by Sangoul Lamizana, who becomes president. In 1980, Lamizana is overthrown in a coup led by Colonel Saye Zebo. And in 1982, Zebo is ousted in a coup led by Jean-Baptiste Ogiago. And in 1983, Ogiago is overthrown in a coup led by Thomas Sankara, who then becomes president.
How many elections they had?
In 2022, the West African nation experienced another military coup led by this guy, Lieutenant
else is new?
Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, that ousted President Roch Marc Christian Kabore, citing failure to address jihadist insurgency. A decision that
The
would
one that
paradoxically
was
contribute
since
to Damiba's
2015.
eventual downfall. Damiba elevated Ibrahim Traore to the position of artillery chief within the Kaya regiment, located in
God.
the central part of the country.
I'm gonna get something, give me a second. So, let's see if a mint is gonna help my throat. I have a sore throat today. Sucks.
Since 20
Okay, so what was it?
downfall, Damiba elevated Ibrahim Traore to the position of artillery chief within the Kaya regiment, located in the central part of the
2022, he said.
country. Since 2015, Burkina Faso has been caught up in an escalating wave of violence attributed to rebel fighters allied to both Al-Qaeda and the ISIS group in jihadists.
African nations have a growing problem.
Crazy.
Countries across the
Al-Qaeda and
continent
ISIS
are
in
facing
Burkina
attacks
Faso.
by Islamist-inspired insurgencies.
According to
Ridiculous.
reports, the violence has claimed many lives and forced 1.9 million people to flee their homes. Due to the
million
insurgencies
displaced.
in the country, Burkina Faso only controls about 60% of the country, and the remaining territory is outside state control. Despite having more than
Crazy.
40% of the population living below poverty line, Burkina Faso is known for its mineral resources, especially
Yeah,
gold.
guess where do they go?
It is the fourth largest gold producer in Africa and the third largest site for gold exploration.
Is it really necessary for the people to be starving, to have 40% extreme poverty or something, he said? Is that really necessary when you are number 4th biggest production of gold? Like, France probably is getting all that money. And coup after coup, just giving the leader something to let them do it. And the people, who gives a fuck? Let's just put some terrorists, let's just hire ISIS to give them something to talk about so they don't complain that we keep all the gold. Crazy
on the
shit, man.
continent. In 2021, gold accounted for 79% of Burkina Faso's exports. The country also produced cotton, zinc, copper, manganese, phosphates, and limestones. You can see a
No
link
comment
of
about
violent
the cotton.
extremists in the country's gold mines as shown here. A coup that would go on to define the future of Burkina Faso took place on August 4th, 1983. A group of soldiers loyal to Thomas Sankara, led by his close friend Blaise Compaoré, staged a coup d'etat. This coup was supported by some segments of the population who were dissatisfied with the government and inspired by Thomas Sankara's ideas. The coup successfully overthrew the previous regime of Jean-Baptiste Ogiago and installed Sankara as the president of the newly renamed Burkina Faso. In 1987, Blaise Compaoré, Sankara's close friend, staged a coup that assassinated his longtime friend Sankara. Blaise Compaoré would go on to rule Burkina Faso for 27 years. During
Brutus and Julius Caesar, right? The betrayal.
As well, Burkina Faso underwent significant economic reforms, including the privatization of other state-owned companies. During his presidency in 2014, widespread protests broke out because of his plan to extend presidential term limits. The protests called for his resignation.
Same like in Venezuela. He wanted to extend presidential. I mean, first of all, I haven't heard about a election until now. So for some reason they have somehow they have a constitution, and so I'm president now on like by force. It's like a democratic dictatorship of some sort. Just fucking whoever has the most guns gets to be the democratically so weird. But in any case, they do have some kind of term limits. Because when this guy wanted to extend like Chavez did, this is what happened in 2009. We had an election, so he could be president unlimited times and not only 2. In Venezuela, it's 2 times of 5 years each, maximum 2 until 2009. They won that election in January, I remember. They won that election, and then Chavez stayed there until he died. So this is what the guy wanted to do. We also had a coup, basically protests and stuff against this. However, it didn't amount to much, obviously, because he still won. But apparently these people were successful on it.
The protests called for his resignation.
He
Blaise
finished his
Compaoré fled
terms.
the
Fuck
country,
off.
bringing an end to his 27-year rule.
So they were not happy,
President
obviously.
Blaise
They were happy.
Compaoré
They would
has
ask him to stay.
resigned a day after the opposition called supporters onto the streets in an attempt to remove him from power.
While this was
He overplayed
happening,
the hand,
a young Ibrahim Traoré had been enlisted in the artillery regiment based in Kaya, Burkina Faso, and had been promoted to lieutenant in the military, and he was later deployed in the anti-aircraft training in Morocco. This guy, Honoré Traoré, succeeded Blaise Compaoré, and this guy, Isaac Zida, became interim head of state on November 1st, 2014, and later prime minister on September 23rd, 2015. He was later succeeded by Michel Kafando on September 23rd, 2015.
Okay, that's
Iris,
too
Burkina
detailed.
Faso, demanding better conditions. And in January 2022, soldiers mutiny, demanding better conditions and removal of army leadership, eventually
Soldiers.
ousted President Roch Marc Christian Kabore, led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba.
In Burkina Faso, President Roch
Look,
Kabore has
the
been
Nazi
forced.
salute.
Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba.
In Burkina Faso.
Yeah. There's you probably saw the story also that in Namibia, the new president of Namibia is called Adolf Hitler. Hilarious. And now we have this black dude fucking Heil saluting. HH, brother.
President Roch Kabore has
brother.
been forced to stand down. Will bring you all.
Ibrahim Traoré was sent to Mali, where he gained experience fighting jihadists and ethnic conflicts led by
So he went to Mali to, okay. So he's been fighting the jihadists.
insurgents and attacks by militants in the northern Timbuktu region. He was part of the Operation Otopuano
Send
in
them to
Burkina Faso's restive
Timbuktu.
east. For 7 months, the operation resulted in temporary withdrawal by militants from the region. He was part of a detachment in the northern Sahel region against jihadist groups. Burkina Faso is located here in the Sahel region. The Sahel region is a transitional belt of land in Africa that stretches across the continent from the Atlantic Ocean in the west to the Red Sea in the east. It spans approximately 5,400 kilometers, about 3,360 miles. Burkina Faso borders 6 countries: north and west of Mali, northeast of Niger, southeast of Benin, and south of Togo and Ghana, and southwest of Ivory Coast. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso announced they will withdraw from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the military leaders stated they will not be holding elections to reinstate civilian governments.
West African nations Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso have announced they are leaving the regional economic bloc ECOWAS. Their military rulers issued a joint statement live on television.
So that's probably
calling the
some
bloc
French
sanctions
alliance.
against them.
Stop. That's probably some French alliance, I guess. Like we saw this map where everything, like basically all of West Africa was green virtually. And I guess now how they steal their resources more efficiently is they put them all together in some kind of trading organization so they can fucking get all that stuff out. And 3 of those countries, including Burkina Faso, who, I don't know if they say it or if I understand it correctly, is like the leader of this. They're carrying this flag. They are pushing for this revolution against the French colonization. You know, that's what it's called. I'm not trying to blame the French, or I'm not saying I support these people. This is what it is. It is a colonization that they're still in charge. The French are still in charge of all of these green countries. Obviously, from the way I see it, I just see these people wanted to be free. If you are the French government, you see them as terrorists, right? And this is the tricky thing. Nelson Mandela was also a terrorist for the South African government. So that's the problem. That's why you have to look with a magnifying glass these kind of things. I'm not saying that he's a superhero, whatever, or the best guy in the world, or give him the Nobel Prize or whatever, the Nobel Peace Prize, but you know, in their eyes, they are fighting for their freedom. And you know, how about if we keep our gold? Is that okay? That would be nice, so we can bring the 40% of the current population out of extreme poverty. How about that? I don't know. Doesn't sound too bad for me if you're Burkina Fasovian.
Them inhumane.
ECOWAS shut down both land and air borders and established a no-fly zone for commercial flights, and suspended financial transactions and froze assets held by these countries in ECOWAS central banks. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, is a regional political and economic union of 15 countries located in West Africa.
This is what they want to get out of, I guess. They fucking block the airspace.
Thanks. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, is a regional political and economic union of 15 countries located in West Africa, established in 1975.
And they give everything to France.
These West African countries, mostly former British and French colonies, gained independence around the same time. They shared similar economic structures and faced similar challenges due to their history.
So it's like an independent
the
organization?
The region has experienced 7 military coups over 2 years, including
Sudan is horrible.
Chad,
We're going to talk
Gabon,
about Sudan also
Guinea.
soon. It's
The
horrible what's
long-standing
happening there.
jihadist
Somalia
insurgency
also.
in Mali, starting in 2012, spilled over into Burkina Faso's northern regions. At least 29 people, including several foreigners, were killed in an Al-Qaeda attack on top of a hotel in Burkina Faso.
Imagine.
This is where jihadists first opened fire, killing scores of people. More than
Imagine that
24
shit.
hours after the
How they
attack,
find these
residents in
terrorists?
Ouagadougou say they're still under the shock.
Fuck, man. Who are these people?
An unprecedented strike in the capital,
Why are they
illustrating
fighting
the
in Burkina
expanding reach
Faso?
of
Why
regional
are they
insurgency
there?
groups.
Why
The
is
following
ISIS there?
images show
What
swarms
is
of
ISIS
fighters
doing
riding on motorcycles and
is
others on
Al-Qaeda
trucks
doing here?
approaching the northern Burkina Faso town of Djibo.
In 2018 and 2019, the Trump administration funded a total of $100 million in security cooperation, equal to about 2/3 of Burkina Faso's 2016 defense budget,
100
making
million.
it one of the largest recipients of US security aid in West Africa.
Yeah, where did it
Ibrahim
go?
Traoré discussed possible military cooperation with the Russian delegation, and the country received about 25,000 tons of free wheat from Russia. Russia reopened its embassy in Burkina Faso, which had been closed since the collapse of the Soviet Union in the 90s. Ibrahim Traoré says his goal is to secure peace in the country. The country received a shipment
Under
of
his
new
rule.
military equipment from China, including armored vehicles,
That's what everybody
self-propelled
wants.
mortars, and various weapons and ammunition. Last August, Burkina Faso's army received a shipment of Emirati-made MRP vehicles. On June 2023, Burkina Faso signed a contract with Egypt's Qaeda factory for a number of FAHD armored passenger
Nah, they're
carriers.
getting
And
weapons.
in January 2023,
Not
Turkey
weapons,
delivered the
transportation from the UAE. I thought they weren't they allied? I guess these Middle East countries, they go like Qatar 100%, but UAE I guess goes like Turkey, right? The same. Turkey is staying neutral. Egypt is surprising that they're, because now this is the enemy number one of France, which means it's enemy number one of the West. But the problem is, maybe that's why we don't see it in the news so much. It's because they cannot just say that they are fighting terrorists, because The locals are fighting. The French are the terrorists in this case. So they have no. For now, we will see how they frame it, if they frame it somehow in the mainstream media, which I doubt. These small countries always go under the radar. We have to like find and look, because you don't see this in CNN or wherever, BBC or whichever news local station you are. So it's interesting to see all these neutral countries. You know, India is also part of that list of the neutral country, plays both sides.
The first batch of 4 armored fighting vehicles to Burkina Faso's army. According to the U.S. Developmental Agency, USAID, Burkina Faso also has one of the highest electricity costs in Africa. Russia is said to be building a nuclear plant to meet Burkina Faso's energy needs through its energy company, Rosatom. Burkina Faso is one of the least electrified countries globally, with about 21% of people connected to power. Burkina Faso also imports about 17% of its electricity.
Wow, 20% of the people have electricity, man. Wow. That is horrible. That is really bad. How many people live there? Because, you know, I see all of this fucking gold that they are extracting, and you tell me 20% of the people only have electricity. Like, make a power plant at least, you know, like, how can you steal everything? Not give even 1%. You give 1% of that money that has been extracted until now back to the people, and we would have 50% people with electricity, maybe. Not 20. Population. Let's see the amount of population. Population. Where is it? Here it is. 22 million, man. Are you serious? 20%, 4 million? 4.5 million people have electricity. 18 million people without electricity. Wow. Just wow.
And relies on hydro and thermal power.
Thank God it's not cold.
The military expenditure of Burkina Faso increased from $562 million in 2022 from $458 million in 2021. At least 800,000 people have already been cut off from major roadways and are effectively living under militant jihadist group sieges. Burkina Faso is a religiously diverse country, with Islam being the dominant religion. According to the latest census, 63.8% of the population adheres to Islam, and around 26.3% of the population practices Christianity, with around 9% practicing African traditions. An estimated 70 languages are spoken there, which about 66 are indigenous. More is spoken by about 52.5% of the population. The official language was French, which was introduced when France colonized Burkina Faso in 1919. The country abandoned French as an official language. This map shows the ethnic groups across the country. Burkina Faso has experienced a tumultuous history marked by several military coups over the years. From the early days of independence, history marked by cross.
Let me take a quick look at this map. I like maps, as everybody should know already. Mosi is blue. They have the capital. Bobo, green. Yeah, so it's very diverse. Very, very diverse. And they stay in peace. This is what I don't get. Before all of this fuckery from the colonialists, they can live there in peace. Nobody's fucking trying to take anything from each other. The colonialists came, and then suddenly we have terrorists now. The colonialists came. They took everything they could. They took independence. In the 60s, they created a fake organization in the mid-70s to keep people under control and make sure that even though they're independent, we can still get these resources. And then they start, you know, I don't know why. Why would they even send jihadis over there? Why would they destabilize the country? Oh man, this is what I mean with the world is evil. Let's just keep this country not stable. That's the goal, basically. Lead them. An unstable country is a, non-powerful country. With a lot of resources, keep them fighting between each other, right? Oh, they're not fighting between each other. Send these people that are looking for a fight. dude.
Across the country. Burkina Faso has experienced a tumultuous history marked by several military coups over the years, from the early days of independence to more recent times. The country has witnessed political instability and transitions of power through various coups. Despite these challenges, Burkina Faso remains rich in natural resources, including gold, cotton,
that's why they
zinc,
have this
copper, and other
That's why they
minerals.
have the challenges. Despite these challenges, no, bro. If they would have no gold, no resources, nothing, they would be free and chilling there and hunting lions. Because they have all of these resources, this is why they are oppressed. There's nothing like colonized and just they steal
making it a
from them.
significant player in the regional economy. As the land of the honest,
I'm so the French don't see it that way. If American thinks that Venezuelan oil is theirs for some reason, I'm sure the French go like, oh, this is my gold. 100%. That's the only way that you can be such a dickhead, man, when you think it's yours.
Burkina Faso has the potential to achieve peace and prosperity.
Okay, that's
the
it.
country has the opportunity to overcome its turbulent past and
Alright,
challenge.
that was a cool video. Thank you, Preamble. Here is their Preamble YT. Preamble YouTube is their page, their channel. And it seems to be insightful data histories, the insightful data stories. Seems to be mostly about Africa. And it seems to be not active anymore. They haven't posted in a year. Okay, thanks, Preamble. If you're not active, then I guess makes no sense to subscribe. Okay, so now let's check the latest news. Burkina Faso. 22 hours ago. West Africa to unite as clouds gather. Cold and bloody winter. Mali, Niger. That's one day ago. Launch NATO-style military alliance. Okay, so this is the latest news. The latest news is the unification of these three huge countries in West Africa.
I will apologize once again to those whom my words might offend, because I will not mince words. We will once again tackle the words that mimic Africa. You have certainly all heard of the Arab Spring, this phenomenon that has shaken the geopolitics of the Arab world, starting with the Maghreb in Africa and extending to Asia, manifesting with often disastrous consequences, including deaths and divisions in some places and unprecedented political upheavals in other places. And I think all Africans should understand what this phenomenon is, where it comes from, and what needs to be done to protect against such a phenomenon. Unfortunately, we regret to note that some Africans are not waking up. And what I want to say is only my own thought, my analysis, is that there is something coming to West Africa, which I have called the Black Winter. The Black Winter is coming. It will be a very cold winter, a bloody winter, a murderous winter.
Whoa.
You might ask me why. Well, when founding the AES Confederation, we felt this cold coming. And every single day, we strive to find tree trunks to light a fire that will warm the hearts of Africans, a fire that will warm the mindsets and the blood of Africans to unite us. At the same time, we also endeavor to charge at the wolf, to try to use their skin to make coats to protect us from the winter cold. We endeavor to build mountains, large mountains, to break the winter wind that is expected to strike our communities. Unfortunately, it must be acknowledged that some blacks are there every day watering our tree trunks with fresh water so they cannot burn. They turn into wolves to ensure that we, the wolf hunters, cannot surprise them, the wolves. When we want to build our mountains, they break the stones so we cannot reach them. Yet winter is coming, and when winter comes, should we allow those who fight us to come and protect themselves with the coats we have made, with the mountains we have built to shield ourselves from the winds, or to warm themselves with us around the fire? This is the question we must ask ourselves. What will become of Pan-Africanism when winter comes? Winter will come because the war is moving to West Africa. The imperialists are doing everything to set West Africa ablaze.
I guess.
But from the top levels of the state down to some parts of the population, either we pretend...
It's gonna go, oh, you remember the time when... I forgot all the names of the. Do you remember in the Black Wall when whatever the fuck?
Not to see the danger coming, or we are complicit in what is going to happen. Chaos could ensue. I said it could ensue. Many people could die. We could slaughter each other in such an atrocious manner that, during this time, they will be there plundering our riches, imposing their will. And those who will survive this tragedy will have only two choices: either unite forever against imperialism, or resign themselves to being slaves until they disappear. Therefore, we must guard against the winter, the Black Winter that is coming. We cannot understand that black people here in West Africa pray to God that terrorists kill black populations. We cannot understand that cowardly heads of state hide behind the so-called media to discourage, insult, and incite hatred between populations.
These individuals who are on their platforms, who every day from morning to night spit their toxic venom to fan the flames of hatred between communities, they are generally very nasty. With their miserable faces, they know only how to do this. Look at them there. They are...
Yeah, okay. This is I have the biggest dick speech in a poetic way, or in a, I don't know, kind of a haiku, Japanese, using nature. We're gonna build mountains, and we're gonna take hunt the wolf and take their skin to warm us in this bloody winter. So yeah, basically standing up for the revolution in very direct and aggressive way. We're basically saying to the French people and to the French government, or to the whoever is like standing in their way, we are willing to die for this cause. That's basically what they're saying. And everybody else in West Africa should also be willing to die for this. That's basically what's going on. So.
And we end in the Sahel region, where 3 military-led countries have just launched an alliance which they claim is based on NATO's model. And these nations are Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger. They have clubbed their militaries and called them the United Force of the Alliance of Sahel States. It was formally launched on Saturday at an airbase in Bamako, the capital of Mali. Defence ministers from all 3 countries were present. Officials say the 5,000-strong unit is designed to fight Islamist insurgency and Al-Qaeda-linked terrorism. Its headquarters is based in Niamey, Niger's capital. The force will be commanded by Burkinabe General Douado Traoré. Officials say the alliance will combine air power, intelligence sharing and ground operations from all 3 countries. Their aim, to carry out
the commander is the president, so yeah, he's leading. This is the Tuareg. The other one, Tuareg, he is the leader of Burkina Faso, and he's obviously carrying the flag for this unification organization or military alliance.
Thousands across the region. The new force also comes with a clear message to outside powers, especially France.
Fuck
this
off.
As officials in the Sahel Alliance have repeatedly criticised their former coloniser for what they describe as its failed military interventions. The new partnerships also come at a critical time.
Actually, that's a very nice diplomatic way to put it. We criticize you for your failed military interventions, basically for holding us hostage for 100 years and stealing all of our resources.
France has reportedly started to deepen its ties with Nigeria.
Hey Macron, how's your wife?
Month, Nigerian forces have thwarted a coup in neighbouring Benin. Nigeria said it acted at Benin's request and within regional security protocols. And France claimed to have provided logistical support in the Nigerian operation. Critics say that this did not sit well with the alliance. Reports suggest the alliance will operate independently of regional bloc ECOWAS-led structures. Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger have all withdrawn from ECOWAS. The grouping had initially imposed sanctions on all 3 nations, but later lifted them for Mali and Niger.
Burkina Faso, the Republic of Mali, the Republic of Niger have formally ceased to be members of the Economic Community of West African States.
The only thing I think we are missing, now we know this, we don't need to finish, but the only thing I want to know is what kind of help they are getting from Russia, China, North Korea. What kind of so let's say Burkina Faso allies. I'm trying to Google it as objective as possible, because if I go like Burkina Faso axis of evil or something, then this we've seen. Yeah, this we know. And allies with Russia, that's 6 months ago. Burkina Faso strengthens ties with Venezuela and Cuba, new military alliance. So they are joining the axis of evil. Ooh, another boogeyman. Let's Google it like this, fuck it. Okay, now let's not we're not trying to red pill anyone right now. So red pilling is not the purpose of this specific video. I don't know how the hell. Oh man, how can I search? Let's see. maybe here. So Burkina Faso international alliances. This is 2023. Dude. Did I write it wrong? How do you write alliances? Is it with S? No. Is that how I write it? I don't know. And English is not my first language, so fuck off. Okay, fuck it. Burkina Faso. Okay. The latest West Central Africa events. At glance, displacement, 1,000 refugees registered in Mali. March. This is March, bro. Okay, so X is not helping much with news. Burkina Faso. Right, let's just then be super biased. Russia, China, North Korea. Let's see what's up. 2 years ago, 7 months, 1 month ago. North Korea deploys special military support to protect. 13 minutes. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to History and Legacy Africa. The fire in the Sahel is burning hotter than ever, and the smoke has reached North Korea. Please pay attention to this story, because this is serious. The situation in Burkina Faso, under the fearless leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, is clear. They are fighting a wicked two-front war. On one side, they are fighting the terrorist attacks, the bandits and criminals who destroy the villages and kill the innocent people. These terror groups are often armed and funded by the same plunderers of the West who want to keep the region unstable so they can keep stealing the minerals. This is the old, ugly strategy.
Am I crazy? Am I crazy assuming that when I said exactly that 2 minutes ago? I mean, I don't know who that is. It doesn't mean that this person is, but what a coincidence, isn't it? That they think exactly what I assumed. You see, this is why common sense is undefeated. Like, people talk sources and can you trust this person? Don't listen to him. He's a racist. All of this shit, man. And you just need to try to connect. Just give a little bit of your energy and try to connect the dots yourself. Feel, what does your mind tell you? What is it, this? When something smells weird, you can have fucking the Pope say, no, this is true. And you're like, yeah, something feels weird. Something does feel weird. Trust those instincts. Don't go like, no. When people tell you, no, nothing is weird. What are you talking about? Don't be a conspiracy theorist. Okay, nothing is weird. No. Trust those instincts. This is your soul telling you, dude, you are being fooled. Trust those instincts and figure it out. Think about it. Logic, common sense. This is the way that we win, just by people applying common sense, in my opinion. We are smart. Humans are smart. They're not dumb. People say, yeah, population, people are so dumb and stupid and whatever. No, they're just distracted and worried about million problems. You cannot be nice to everybody on the street, the traffic, the fucking weather. It's also bias to judge humans just by the way that they are behaving for the 30 seconds that we saw them, so if we would kind of fucking clear all these problems and try to think objectively, the world would be such a much better place if people would just question everything and trust their instincts and their feelings. When something is wrong, dig deeper.
Strategy of colonialism. On the other side, Burkina Faso is fighting the massive, arrogant threats from France and the European Union. France is angry because Traoré kicked out their soldiers. France is angry because Traoré took back control of his country's destiny.
Who said
France
that?
wants to punish Burkina Faso and bring them back into the chains of obedience. They are always threatening invasion.
They have
Captain
already
Traore
subtitles.
knows that if Burkina Faso wants peace, they must prepare for total war. The
Yeah.
army of Burkina Faso is brave. But war is expensive, and war needs massive supplies. You need large quantities of ammunition that can supply a long, grinding war against
There
both
we
the
go.
terrorists and the desperate French invaders. The terrorists attack every day.
The
The
Jericho
army must constantly
is
fire back.
Iron Man.
They need an unstoppable, endless flow of bullets and shells. Again, Traore knows that if France invades, their first move will be to use their air force to wipe out the government and the army leadership. Therefore, Burkina Faso needs the iron roof of anti-air defense to say to France, if you enter this
Iron
airspace,
roof.
your wicked plane will not
Iron
return
Dome.
home. Yes, thanks to Russia and China,
It's Russian
Burkina
version of the Iron
Faso is
Dome.
very well equipped. This year alone, thousands of weapons have arrived, including fighter jets and heavy steel, which are enough to protect the territories of the nation. But Traore says, we want more. Traore is thinking long-term, and so his government is still striking
he's
deals with
36,
powerful
right?
nations for both
He's
defense
36. I'm sure he wants to stay in power until he dies, probably. I don't see him calling for elections anytime soon. So I would assume, as every leader in the history of dictatorships, I would assume that he's planning to stay in power as long as he lives, and he's planning to live as long as he can, which means that for him, being in power 20, 30 years sounds wonderful, for sure. So I'm definitely convinced that he's planning for the future. That makes sense.
and economic benefits. Then, the news hit the world like a massive geopolitical thunderbolt. Many sources confirmed it this week. Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea and a very strong, close ally of both Russia and China, has stepped onto the battlefield to support the Sahel,
Yeah,
especially
here they are, the the three villains of the world: Kim Jong-un, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, right? The boogeyman.
Burkina Faso. Please note, History and Legacy Africa is still talking with our trusted sources inside Burkina Faso and Mali to get the full length of this massive news, and I promise to bring you every detail of it soon. Let's continue. North Korea has sent a massive offer of military support to Burkina Faso this week. $120 million worth of heavy defense weapons to the Burkina Faso security units.
Not that much,
Sources
but I'm sure enough
confirmed
for
that
them.
following this offer,
Didn't
Burkina
we hear that they had that in America sent them 100 million at some point, but it was like double. That was like double of the military that they had, or 3 times as much, or 1/3. Yeah, so it's about a 300 million. They have a 300 million worth military. Now they got just over 30%, I guess.
Faso
Enough.
is now looking to sign a long-term deal with North Korea.
It's never
Remember,
enough, but
North Korea, China, and Russia have a very strong alliance, and they
Yeah,
all have turned their
very
eyes on
strong.
Africa. This should tell you something big is happening.
it's strong.
This is the deal that will totally change the future of the Sahel and the global balance of power. Burkina Faso will get ammunition in massive quantities, oil fuel supplies through North Korea's powerful network of partners, and anti-air systems to build that iron roof of protection.
Yeah, interesting. Commenting on that, they have a very strong alliance. I mean, I don't really think they have strong alliances. They have very different goals in mind, very different ways of governing their own people. I think the only thing they have in common is they don't want to fuck with each other. You know, they're just interested in business. They don't want to betray each other. They don't want to blackmail you know, any of their politicians. They're not trying to infiltrate any changing governments or regime changing in international countries just to steal resources or for power or land or whatever reason. So they're like the reason why they are united, what they have in common is basically, I am happy here and I don't really wish to, I mean, Russia is expanding literally, but you know, China, they're expanding that way. China doesn't want the West, Europe. It's not realistic. So Russia is not invading Mongolia or, you know, Tibet or whatever. North Korea is whatever. They're not planning on expand, not even to South Korea. So that's the only thing they have in common. It's crazy, right? This is the axis of evil. The people who are not planning on, you know, fucking with each other. But you see the West, the alliance, betrayals and shit. Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird the way that who are portrayed as the good guys, who are portrayed as the bad guys. I'm not saying these people are good. Everybody's bad, but you know what I mean.
Protection. And
That's why
what does
we
North
have to
Korea want
filter
in
the
return?
bullshit, man.
They want the things the West denies them. They want food and minerals. They want vast lands in the Sahel for massive food production. They want limestone for their infrastructure, fertilizers for their crops, and manganese for their electrical components. This deal is a win-win exchange between two sovereign nations who share one enemy, the West.
Yeah, it's not
the
that
world
difficult.
must understand that the war in the Sahel is not a small local fight over some gold or some uranium.
Uranium also.
No.
Oh.
This is a serious war for the global superpower. And let me explain.
Bricks.
The global superpower war is strongly ongoing.
Ooh.
As we speak, the USA stands
That's
as
AI.
the world's most powerful nation, but Russia, China, and North Korea do not recognize them as such. They know that America and all of Europe are standing on a fake foundation. They are standing on African
That's also
resources
true, though.
and cheap African labor to build their countries.
Yeah,
Look at France.
not everything,
Their
but-
lights, their massive industries,
Yeah,
and their
France
whole
is
economy
different.
were built on cheap
America.
uranium and gold from the Sahel. Look at
Really?
America. Their technology, their military components,
Yeah, cobalt.
and their massive wealth depend on cheap African cobalt, manganese, and other rare minerals. The West has never built itself.
Let's
it
put
has
that
only
in the
plundered
list. I wanna
African
talk about the
resources
Central
and the
African
labor of their
Republic
ancestors. They have
and
used the wicked
the
systems
cobalt
and the
situation.
massive debt chains to keep Africa poor and dependent so they can keep plundering. This is the plot of the Great Deceiver. China and Russia do not want to fight a direct, massive war with America. That is too costly and too slow. China's strategy is far more intelligent and absolutely unstoppable. China is spreading its influence to the African states, the economic foundation of the West, and getting them onto their side. China, Russia, and now North Korea are telling Africa, "We will help you build yourself with your own resources. We will pay the true price for your minerals. We will bring you massive infrastructure that helps your people, not just our companies." When Africa chooses this new path of dignity, the foundation of the West instantly collapses.
Why is it so fucking difficult for France to do that? Somebody please explain to me, why do you have to be so fucking greedy that you need all or nothing? Why can't you not? Let's hear that again. These are the demands of the axis of evil when doing business. They didn't invade Burkina Faso. They just fucking called them. "Hey dude, I see you're struggling, right?" "I am." "Is it the fucking French?" "Yeah." "Well, we hate the West too. How about we do some deals?" "Cool." And that's it. They had a beer. Really? Is it really that difficult for the West just to do that? Pick up the phone and be friendly and respect everybody else as much as their own and not think of everybody like under them? We are the empire and everybody else is just our... I just saw actually a very cool meme. It was like, the Earth is a luxury hotel for 500 people and the rest of us are just the staff. That's fucking hilarious. So, you know, that's how they want to treat us. They want, like the staff, like your gold, your uranium, that's all mine. And how dare you think it's yours? Crazy. But then some crazy country comes with this offer. Let's see.
Absolutely unstoppable. China is spreading its influence to the African
China
states,
comes.
the economic foundation of the West, and getting them onto their side.
We need to like parentheses, because what China is doing in Central African Republic with the cobalt is horrible. So don't forget that. Democratic Republic of Central Africa or something like this. Horrible. So don't forget that. Important. They are doing evil in that country. However, they come to Burkina Faso and
influence to the African states, the economic foundation of the West, and getting them onto their side. China, Russia, and now North Korea are telling Africa, "We will help you build yourself with your own resources. We will pay the true price for your minerals. We will bring you massive infrastructure that helps your people, not just our companies." When Africa chooses this new path of dignity, the foundation...
That's it. You have the minerals, we have the technology to exploit these minerals. We do that, we come there, we do it, everybody wins. We don't keep everything. And we don't only focus that the companies like Shell for oil or whatever Shell for gold is. You know, we know who's doing diamonds, but I don't know who, like, you know, whatever gold. They should not be profiting more than your own people and your own country. So we will bring the technology, exploit it, your people will help you build infrastructure for your people so they come out of poverty, maybe give electricity to more than 20% of them. And yeah, seems to me like a win-win. Like, I keep expecting the and then what? Do I have to kiss your boot? Do I have to sign this contract that forces me to be your ally for 100 years? No, bro. It's, whatever. Imagine how crazy that is.
Nation of the
Sitting
West
at the
instantly
table.
collapses. If Burkina Faso stops selling its
That's
manganese
why
cheaply
BRICS
to
is
the
so
West
dangerous,
and sells it
because
to North Korea for a fair exchange
for
of
the-
weapons and food,
not for
who
me,
loses?
for the establishment, for the West, for now who the empire who is currently, man, dude, you need to go to the gym, like the empire, the people in charge, because BRICS, they want to do business, they don't want to colonize. And of course, guess what? People would rather do business than be colonized. What a surprise.
The West loses. Their electrical components industry suddenly becomes massive and expensive. This is the geopolitical genius. China is not fighting America's army. China is causing the total collapse of America's and Europe's economies by empowering the victims of colonialism. The alliance of Russia, China, and...
Yeah, well, I think the West is doing that themselves. I think China, Russia, and I think this attitude that China and Russia have now, because I don't know if you can call China of like being the most peaceful country in history, but this attitude that they have now is a direct response of the bully, of the imperium forcing people to do shit. Then you come here giving options. You're not forcing anyone. It's the result of that. So cool. I guess we are actually more or less updated when it comes to the whole thing. So let's do a recap. But before, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't done yet, please subscribe and like this video, comment something, even if it's, hey, what's up, like, hey, cool, or you suck. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Just comment, write in the chat. I don't care about the haters. Actually, I find them super funny, so please bring all the hate also. And yeah, share with your friends and stuff. So now let's recap, right? So Burkina Faso, small country, French colony in West Africa, no coast, north of Mali, west, it has Mali on the north, and it has Niger on the east, and other French colonies in the south, like Ivory Coast, and which was the other one? Chad? Was it Chad? Give me a second. Let me check. I'm cheating, by the way. Yeah, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, of course. And yeah, then on the left, Senegal, etc. Cool. So that's where it's located. The history has been, I haven't found much. Old kingdoms from the native Africans, and then France comes in 1904, starts colonizing, all that shit. In 1960, they become independent. In 1970, they are forced to be part of this organization of Western African countries and to open trade. We all already talk about what that means. And parallel to that, you have a very unstable form of government with coups after coups, no elections, there's no peace. Basically, it's just nobody wants to transfer power in peace. Everybody just wants to force themselves in, so which is basically just a dictatorship that is being overthrown. It's not a democracy, whatever you want to call it. And then in 2022, in January, was the last one by Ibrahim Touré. Ibrahim Touré has been I guess by now was a sergeant or something, they said, and he's been fighting in Mali, surprisingly jihadist. So ISIS and Al-Qaeda, they are not only in Saudi Arabia, they are not only in Iraq, they are not only in Syria, they are also in Burkina Faso. How would you like that was actually the fucking plot twist of this ISIS? What is ISIS doing in the West Africa? It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Like, obviously false flag and this is what I mean with sources. What these people say, it just makes sense. Yeah, we can double check and we can go to the books and actually find the evidence of how France collaborated, paid. I'm sure there's letters, emails, and I'm sure you can find. But do we really need to? It does make sense. It's what they are doing in the Middle East also with ISIS and Al Qaeda by coincidence. So we knew that already. For me, this is just like a franchise of that in West Africa. So, of course, this guy Touré and a lot of military people are pissed at this. They went to Mali, fought the jihadis off to the north, and now they took over the country and is creating a military alliance with Mali and Niger to fight the West. France is, of course, pissed at this, and they have a new terrorist, a new black Adolf Hitler, even though it would be the second, because we have the president of Namibia also. But in this case, it's about the principles, not the name. So he's Adolf Hitler in principle, right? As every leader that is against the West is. So with the support and the help, I guess, of two huge powers, superpowers, definitely two of the top three, China and Russia. With their help, they are just trying to become independent, like really independent, and benefit their own people who have 40% extreme poverty and only 20% of the population has electricity. Horrible. We didn't even hear about water, but I'm sure the numbers are also not that good. That would be too depressing. I don't know if I want to find out, but I'm sure they are not fucking swimming in rivers of potable water. So this part is for sure terrible. And yeah, they are probably gonna be part of BRICS, if they are not already. We're gonna make an episode of BRICS as well, because that's coming next year. That's coming. And yeah, so far the biggest partnership and collaboration that they had has been with North Korea that sent troops. They have also strengthened their military, buying transportation, armored trucks and stuff from the UAE, from Egypt, from Turkey, probably weapons they are getting from Russia. North Korea is giving them the Iron Roof, basically, so the Chinese version of the Iron Dome. And yeah, man, it's when it comes to the big scheme, zooming out, as we usually do at the end, zooming out, and this of course is the piece of the puzzle in Africa. We have Russia, Ukraine. This is why it's called a world war, and why this might be controversial, but I do think that we are already in some kind of a world war. That in the future, in 50 years, when they are talking about World War III, it's not like they're gonna say that it started probably in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. We are already in it, we just don't know. Like in 1940, in 1939, when Hitler invaded Poland, they didn't know in 1939 that it was the Second World War. That's how we see it in retrospect. So in the same case, I think this is how we are now. So you have this conflict, the West fighting the Axis in North Africa. We have the West fighting the Axis in the north of South America, in Venezuela. We have the West fighting the Axis in Eastern Europe, in Ukraine. And we have Taiwan conflict. We have Taiwan, the situation in Taiwan, which is always fragile, but right now stable. It's like the situation in Taiwan, it's like if somebody had a car accident and then you go the next day and the person is all fucked up, but the doctors go like, he's stable. So that's exactly how it is right now. Anything can happen. So, but for now we're stable. And well, let's just hope that nothing else. Oh, of course, the Middle East, you have Israel against everybody who's around them, basically. So we have that part as well. Iran and Israel is the big two of the Middle East. And maybe we should do we'll talk about that on the BRICS episode. I might do it this year because this is an exciting story to put make the teams, right? Which countries are on this side, which countries are on this side, which countries are, kind of impartial or collaborating with both. That would be a nice episode to do. Let me know what you think. And so yeah, I think that's it. We're gonna be waiting for more news. If something, of course, happens, please let me know if you hear something. If I do, I will, as usual, give you an update. But for now, this is it. I hope you found this episode interesting, learning about Burkina Faso, finding out that there's fucking jihadis over there and that they have just basically created a NATO version, an African version of NATO, starting with these 3 countries. If this shit expands, man, if they go to Ivory Coast, like if they can get, because the only problem that they have here is that they don't really have open sea. Oh fuck, this is not it. So this is these 3 countries. So it's a lot of land, but they don't have access to the coast. If they would include, what is this? Yes, if they would include Ivory Coast or Ghana in there, man, that would be huge potential to have access to the Atlantic Ocean, of course. Anyway, so that's it. I'll shut up. So thanks again, as usual. Like, comment, share, and all that stuff. Let me know what you think, and I will see you. Let me see what we're gonna talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is Christmas, but I don't care. I'll find an hour. I'm gonna do this daily. That's the plan. So on the list we have Tibet, Honduras, Vietnam, Somalia. Somalia would be interesting, but we just spoke about Africa, so maybe go outside of Africa. We'll see. Maybe we'll speak about Honduras. There's actually some developed news over there in Honduras that apparently Trump also wants to do Honduras and Nicaragua after Venezuela. So let's prepare for that. The situation in Venezuela is mostly same. Didn't like, oh no, something happened that, well, connected. It turns out that the US took, I think it was an oil ship, but from Iran that was headed for China or something like this. In this case, they did the same what they're doing, like oil tankers, kidnapped them or what, took them away or whatever, stole the oil, of course. And Trump is like, what are you gonna do with the oil? We're gonna keep it. And of course, so man, they are provoking, like they are poking the bear. It's crazy. In the UK, the news are just, oh, be ready for our European children to die for NATO or what. Oh man, guys, we gotta be careful. Please, a lot of Christmas cheer, positive cheers to the world, send love to everyone, and let's try to save this planet. It's the only one we have. Anyway, thanks everybody for your attention. Have a very nice Christmas Eve and dinner with your family and all that stuff, and I will see you again next time. Peace.